Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing a comparison between my normal eating and then me eating according to the Prophet's diet, following his example. So today is going to be my normal eating day. This is what I usually eat or how I usually eat, and I'm going to explain to you a little bit about the way I usually eat, what my, nutritional goals are, things like that. And then I'm going to, on another day, film a what I eat in a day, but according to the Prophet's diet. So what I've been doing lately is I've been sort of trying to intermittent fast a little bit, but I wouldn't say that I'm fully committed to it. And I think the reason for that is because I've talked about this in previous videos, but I have a history of getting a little obsessive when it comes to diet and food and stuff like that. And I don't think that that's a healthy way to be mentally for me. And so I can see myself really committing to intermittent fasting and then becoming a little bit obsessive over it. And then always thinking about food and stuff like that. So I'm sort of following the general frame of intermittent fasting, but with a few tweaks. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying not to start eating in the day until 1 p.m. And I've been pretty successful with that a lot of days. Some days I can't make it until 1 p.m. but I've been pretty successful. And then my window of opportunity to eat is about 8 hours. I give myself 8 hours. But the thing is, I live with my parents now, and my parents eat very late in the evening. They eat around after 9 p.m. a lot of the time. And so 9 p.m. would be my cutoff time, the end of my window. But because I want to eat with them and stuff, I end up eating at 9:15 or something like that when they're eating. So I often don't end up stopping eating until 10:30. So I'm not fully intermittent fasting, but I'm sort of intermittent fasting. And then another thing is that I'm not putting too much pressure on myself. So for example, on my first day of school, which was on Monday, it's now Wednesday, my husband decided to gift me with some money so that I can go get Dunkin'. And he is not here, by the way, he's in Lebanon, so he sent me some money. And yeah, so I went to Dunkin' and I got a coffee, a frozen coffee and a bagel. And I drink the frozen coffee in the morning, but by the time, which by the way breaks the fast, right? So even though technically you're not supposed to have coffee with sugar and cream and stuff, I did. The bagel, I think I ate it around 11 something. So I ate a lot earlier yesterday, things like that. So depending on the day, I'll kind of modify, right? Depending on what the situation is. I don't put too much pressure on myself. But today, I still have money left over from the Dunkin' gift. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna go to Dunkin', grab a coffee. I'm gonna get probably something, I like to get the caramel swirl coffees with cream. So again, not following the fasting guidelines, but I'm still gonna try to not eat any food until 1. I don't think I'm gonna get a bagel today. I'm just gonna make lunch at home. That's my plan. That's kind of the framework that I've been using. I think it's helping health-wise a bit to have periods of time where I'm not eating, but it probably doesn't have the same effects on somebody that intermittent fasting would. So I'm about to go get a coffee and I will show you what I eat for the day. Hey you guys, so right now it's 12:37 and I'm getting quite hungry. I can hear my tummy growling. So I'm gonna head downstairs and start to make myself lunch, and I'll basically show you everything that I'm eating while I'm down there. My plan is to make myself avocado toast because I love it, and I'm deciding whether or not I want to put an egg on the avocado toast. I'm thinking I do for some extra protein. So yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna eat. I often snack on these sugar-free cookies that my parents buy while I'm making lunch, so I might be doing that as well. So I just want to narrate what I'm doing here. I'm popping some bread in the oven so I can get it all toasty because we don't have a toaster. And then I am cutting open an avocado to put that into a bowl, and the avocado ended up having quite a few dark spots, so I just removed those and then added the rest of the avocado into the bowl. And then here I mashed up the avocado and I added some lemon juice. I cut up some onion and added that in there. Smashed it all up, added some salt. And then I moved on to the egg. So here I just put some oil in the pan and got the egg going, frying on the stove. Oh, and then here are the sugar-free wafer cookies I was talking about. They're really yummy. And then I also forgot to mention that I add salt and pepper on top of the avo and then also on top of the egg usually. Cleaned my plate and it was super yummy. About to eat a stick of juicy fruit gum. My husband bought these for me. So I have some left from when he was here. And then this is some chicken that I just had for a snack. And then I had some dry fruit as well right before my dinner, which is right here. Hey guys, so I wanted to jump on here before I go to bed to just kind of conclude the first part of my what I eat in a day comparison video. And basically towards the end of the night, so I was getting quite hungry. Like that's why I had chicken as a snack, because I was like very hungry. I think now that I'm having classes, and also I think drinking coffee also makes me hungrier, but yeah, I think now that I'm having classes, I'm just getting more hungry because I'm like doing more cognitively. But yeah, so my mom made, if you saw at the end, it was tofu and tempeh with like olive oil and salt and pepper, I think. I'm not sure if there was anything else on it. And then there was also some corn in there, and then my mom made this like flatbread thing. She called it Bazlama, but I don't know if that's like a correct term. But anyways, so I ate that and you saw that on the plate, but then what you didn't see is my dad had cream cheese on his, so then I added cream cheese to mine too. So you didn't see that in there, but I did eat it with cream cheese. And then I had watermelon as well. And then usually, or not usually, but like actually a lot of the time I'll have like a small little like ice cream bar or something before bed. Oftentimes they're either sugar-free or like dairy-free or something that's like healthier, like keto or something like that. My mom gets these kinds of like alternative things because, you know, they often have less calories and stuff. So yeah, I will often have that, but I was actually really full after the tofu and tempeh. That dish in general just makes me really full. But anyways, yeah, I was like super full. Probably ate too much of it. So anyways, that's how I finished off my day eating, and I didn't eat anything else after what I showed you. Hey you guys, so it's about a week now since the last time I spoke to you. It's Friday, September 11th. I don't remember what the date was when I filmed last time, but it's a new day, and today is the day that I'm going to be trying to follow the example of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the way that I eat. So I mentioned in previous videos and possibly in this video too earlier that I would be waiting for my dad to make barley bread because that is something that the Prophet used to make and my dad makes it sometimes. And I asked him to, but he's pretty busy, so he hasn't yet. So I think I'm just gonna film it anyway with a different kind of bread. My mom makes this bread and she calls it Bazlama. I think it might be Turkish, but I'm not really sure. So I'm gonna ask her like the details and probably stick the recipe either in the description box down below or like pop it on the screen while I'm eating it or something like that. So it's also like a hearty bread, you know, it's very filling. If I have like a piece of it for like a snack or something with like cream cheese on it or whatever, it fills me up. I know it'll be hearty and like have protein and stuff like that. So I'm gonna ask her the recipe for that and then let you guys know. And then maybe in a future video, I can feature, you know, barley bread. Like if my dad makes it, maybe I'll just do like a regular what I eat in a day or like a daily vlog or a morning routine and just like show that as well and then pop in the recipe because I know some people were excited to see that. So yeah, so my plan today is I'm going to be eating 2 meals. I'm going to be trying to eat 9 bites per meal. So these are going to be big bites. Like I think usually I take pretty small bites, but like I don't want to be starving, you know what I mean? And like I'm not doing kind of what I suggested in my video where I was talking about the Prophet's diet where I'm like easing myself into this. I'm just kind of going in cold turkey one day to try it out and see how I feel. I mean, it's probably going to be hard because I've tried eating 9 bites per meal before, like way in the past, it was really hard for me. So that's what I'm going to try to do. My first meal is going to be this Bazlama bread that my mom makes and some olive oil. I'm just gonna dip it in olive oil and eat it. And then my second meal might be bread and vinegar, although I don't know if I would like that, so I might just do bread and olive oil again. So eating according to the Prophet's diet, as I mentioned in my previous video, is a very simple way to eat. There's not a lot of complex things happening. It's just things that are nutritional for you and stuff like that. And I mentioned in my previous video that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to drink camel's milk. I obviously don't have camel's milk since I'm in the US, but I'm thinking what I might drink, especially if I'm getting hungry, because this is something that has a good amount of protein, is this drink called kefir. And kefir is like a yogurt drink. Well, it's called a yogurt drink, but it's actually made from milk. And you process the milk in a certain way and it comes out to this thick, like really high nutrients. It has a lot of like good bacteria in it, really good for your gut. So my parents actually make it at home. A lot of the time you can buy it in grocery stores, but it has a lot of sugar in it when you get it in the grocery store. I will probably be drinking that throughout the day as well, along with my small little meals. So I'm gonna head downstairs now and make my first meal. I think, let me check the time. It's 11:36 right now, so I usually eat around like 1 or so p.m. is like my first meal a day, but I'm getting kind of hungry. It's 11:37. I know I'm not going to be having big meals today, and I also want to stop eating earlier in the day than I usually do.
يحيا إذا زرتم وتفرحوا باللقاء الحدق فإن غبتم فلا صبر.
So this right here is breakfast slash lunch. The Bazlama bread that my mom makes. It's like a pan fried bread, and then I'm gonna just dip it in olive oil. I also have water in this water bottle, so I'll be drinking that too. I forgot to count bites. I think that was 2. I need to be focusing more.
بكم يسمو ويأتلق وركب عاشق عبد لكم بالشوق ينطلق ففي ساح الهوى علمون بكم يسمو.
I think that was my 5th bite. 4 more to go. Sorry, I'm talking while eating. It's not polite. This is my 9th and final bite. I'm gonna try to fit this in my mouth. There's still some pieces of bread on the plate, so I won't be able to finish those this meal. Maybe next meal. We'll see. I'm like really trying to stuff this in my mouth. Also, I want to say that while this is what I eat in a day according to the Prophet's diet, I want it to be known that not everything I'm doing today is according to the way that the Prophet used to eat. So like, I don't think the Prophet used to take really big bites. It's just I'm doing that because, you know, I know I'm gonna get hungry if I don't eat like a substantial amount of food. So I'm taking large bites so that I can consume the maximum amount in 9 bites. But, you know, ideally I would be working towards taking normal bites for 9 bites with this kind of food or something like it. And same thing with me drinking kefir. If I drink that later in the day, like that's not something that I know that the Prophet used to drink, but it's as similar as I can get given my circumstances. So I just want to make it clear that like not everything I'm doing is going to be following what the Prophet did to the T, but it's me making my best approximation with my circumstances. And I think that's something that we could all learn to do and would be beneficial for all of us like now and again. The Prophet used to lick his fingers after eating, so I'm doing that as well. Okay, so let me just show you what's left on the plate. So I left about this much olive oil and this amount of bread. It's like basically small little pieces. Like I would take a really big chunk and then only be able to like fit a certain amount in my mouth. So then this is what I left. But I ate most of the bread. I just want that to be clear. So I also want to let you know, like after eating, how I'm feeling. Like, do I still feel hungry? Do I feel full? Just in case any of you guys are thinking about trying this yourselves, I want to just like, you know, let you guys know how I'm feeling so that maybe you feel a bit less intimidated by trying out this diet for a day or for a couple of days or something. I am actually very surprised. I feel full. In the past, when I tried doing 9 bites per meal, like I just wanted to like see if I could do that. I remember actually the food that I was eating when I tried this was oatmeal, and oatmeal is a hearty meal. It's a hearty food, but I don't know. I guess maybe there's just something about bread, like hearty bread and olive oil. So olive oil is like really good, is enriched with like a lot of really good fats. So it's gonna fill you up because of that. And then the bread has like the carbohydrates and the protein. I don't know, but somehow after eating just 9 bites of food, I actually feel like, I'm not gonna say like full, but I feel like completely satisfied. Like I don't feel like I need to go downstairs and get more food or anything like that. So that's really encouraging to me. I thought that this would be a lot harder, to be honest, and I thought I'd be struggling more. Granted, I will update you guys like at the end of the day after I've had my second meal if I'm feeling like really ravenously hungry before bed, because that's another thing that I'm kind of afraid of. And I'm like, what if I can't do it? You know, like what if by the time I'm going to sleep, I'm like starving and I need to just go grab a bite? If I do that, I will let you guys know, just so you know, like in reality, how this is going for me. Like, is this something that's really hard for me? Is it something that I really need to acclimate to? Or is this something that I can just like do now and again with no prior like training, if that makes sense? So this is kefir right here, and I just showed you guys me pouring it. So basically it's like thickened milk. But it has a lot of its own bacteria that's like really good for your gut and your stomach. And so my parents make it, and they actually make it just from milk. And then there's these things called kefir grains, and they go in the milk, and then they process it overnight in a certain way. Like you leave it out with like a paper towel over it with like holes in it so it can breathe. And then it processes it in a certain way, and you come out with this. So it's a really healthy drink. It's a milk product. Like really milk and the grains are the only ingredients, and the grains aren't in here. You strain the grains out. So ultimately it's really only milk. Yeah, I'm gonna have this as like a little mid-meal snack, I suppose, or not really a snack because it's a drink, but yeah, just gonna drink this right now. Hey you guys, so it's about 6 o'clock now. So I'm kind of getting hungry for like my second meal of the day. Honestly, I think I might just eat the same thing as I ate for lunch. I thought about having bread with vinegar, but honestly, I don't know if I'd be able to down that because I don't know if I like vinegar like that. Yeah, and like I know that the Prophet ﷺ used to eat other foods other than like, you know, fats, carbs, like the bread and the oil and stuff like that, but like he used to eat watermelon, for example, like in the fruit category. He used to eat dates. He used to eat pumpkin, like I mentioned. He used to eat cucumbers, but I don't know how to incorporate that into my meal. Like I don't know if he ate that as like, you know, like a snack type meal, or if he would eat those things as like within his overall meal. I haven't really included them in my day, but I know if I ever did this in the future, if I ever tried this again, I probably would just incorporate more of the foods that he used to eat in one day, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm just gonna head downstairs and get some more bread, see what I can put together for dinner. But like I said, probably the same thing as lunch. So this is the last piece of Bazlama that we have. So I'm gonna pop this in the microwave. I actually just checked. I'm not even sure that we have vinegar. Like I know we have apple cider vinegar, but that I don't think would be good with bread. So I think I'm just gonna stick with the olive oil and bread because I really liked it. I'm gonna add a little bit more olive oil to this cup because I didn't finish it all from earlier. That might be enough. So this is the amount that I'm using. We'll see. All right, this is dinner. Another thing that the Prophet ﷺ used to do is he used to eat with 3 fingers. So something like this. I don't know if you can see, but like this. So as not to take up too much food. Hey you guys, so I'm about to eat this big bowl of watermelon. So I did my 2 meals today and I felt satisfied at the time, but it's now been about like 5.5 hours since I last ate and I'm pretty hungry. So I decided I would have some watermelon because watermelon is also a food that the Prophet used to eat, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And I don't know, like I know he used to eat fruits and vegetables, but I don't know if he used to eat them like during one of his 2 meals of the day or if it was like a separate thing, like a snack. I'm not really sure. So I'm just eating this right now because I'm super hungry. I do know that the watermelon that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to eat was like the yellow kind of watermelon. I didn't actually know yellow watermelon existed until I learned that, and then I found some at like a market once, but it tastes pretty much the same as this kind of watermelon. So I'm gonna eat this right now just so I don't fall asleep feeling like extremely hungry, basically, because it's almost time for me to go to sleep. So I'm about to hit the hay, I'm about to go to sleep, and I just wanted to give you guys kind of like a quick summary of how the day went. So I feel like overall it was a good experience. Like I feel like I was surprised that after each meal I didn't come out of the meal feeling like hungry and like I wanted to eat more food. I actually felt satisfied after both meals, which were practically the same thing. So I was surprised about that, and I was surprised that like, you know, I felt like it tasted good and everything. So if I were to ever do this again, I would want to insert a bit more variety into the meals. I kind of only have like a limited understanding, I guess, of how the Prophet used to eat, so I was working within those parameters. But in the future, if I could, and if I could learn more about the way he used to eat, then hopefully I would insert more variety into that. But I mean, I think overall, the overall message that I feel like I'm getting from this experience is simplicity and, you know, fighting our urges to indulge. Overall, the way that the Prophet used to eat teaches us to fight our nafs. And what a nafs means, like the self in Arabic. And so basically what fighting your nafs means like fighting your desires and, you know, detaching yourself from the worldly things that we desire, like luxurious food, for example. Just following the practices of the Prophet and the way he ate is a good way to practice fighting your nafs. And I feel like that's what I was doing today. Like on multiple occasions I was like craving cookies or like craving something like specific, like pasta or whatever. And I think that was maybe the hardest part of today, was just not giving into those cravings. I would say the only point where I started to feel like pretty intensely hungry was, you know, close to midnight, and so then I went down and got watermelon, as you guys saw. But yeah, overall good experience. I definitely intend on doing it again in the future. Maybe not for a whole day, but maybe for like, you know, a meal here and there scattered throughout the week or something like that. Or maybe I'll try a whole day again just to kind of practice that, you know, self-restraint. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it's helpful for anybody who is looking to find out more about the way that the Prophet used to live and to emulate him in the way that he was. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. I post new videos every Tuesday, and I will see you guys next week, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum. Bye.
سلام الله على الهادي رسول الله